Do guys go rogue there a lot based on feeling?
I think a lot of them just sense that they can make a play and make a huge one to help their team. And they have to have that athletic arrogance about themselves. And every now and then, though, it'll cost them. And that's what we just saw there.
There to make the tackle, Jonathan Abram.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defense. Touchdown, Saints! Traquan Smith, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation and a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. Here's Moore. He will return it. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Huntley. That one taken in by Dwayne Eskridge. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Off the play fake. Huntley. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. When you're down a couple of scores like this, CD, you can't afford too many plays that go in the wrong direction like that one.
Yeah, when you take a good look at it broadly, sacks are better than giving it.
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. P.J. Williams with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all three phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick six.
And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the second quarter.
On the return, it's Eskridge, and he'll bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Martin, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Huntley. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a first as he's tackled at the 47. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves them with a 4th down now. 21-0 our score after 1. On 4th down, Huntley. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Pete Werner. And the Saints are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked them off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Kamara up the middle. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
And a nice run to get this up over the 20-yard line.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
To throw on 3rd down. Huntley. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Now, you don't want to see that penalty at any point, but it adds a little extra to it when it comes on 3rd down.
It certainly does, because if this were a boxing match, they had him on the ropes there. 3rd down incompletion, 4th down upcoming. Instead, that mistake resets everything back to 1st down, which means they have to stay on the field longer to try and stop this drive.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation. He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent minutes. Here's a diving catch right side. A little surprise pays off on 3rd and 1. Pass instead of run. Gets him 15 yards. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Mark Ingram. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Saints continue to pull away here in this 1st half. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And, CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away. But this one might be over by halftime.
And since you've already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Lutz with the extra point. And the rout is on here in this 1st half. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
From the end zone, here comes Eskridge. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Sticking with Walker on second down. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 43 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
In motion, the tight end. Throwing on first down. Huntley. He'll fire one downfield for Fant. And now here's another interception. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get them next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in the air, you become receiver and defensive back. You've got to go compete for the ball so that you don't get another one picked off.
They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Carr. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks will take over possession here up at the 44. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 2nd down. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Set now to go for the 3rd quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. From the 10. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they get the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Carr now to throw. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late.
And here's a diving catch made behind the line of scrimmage. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
And not all spectacular catches are the result of a pass that maybe was not thrown quite right. Sometimes it's thrown in the perfect spot, and you have to just go get it. And he did that right there.
No fear there in the middle of the field. On first down, Huntley. That completes it again to Metcalf. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football. But right now, they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
2nd and 7. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Justin Evans. 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick six is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here. And that one, it backfired in a big way.
What's good on the extra point? And that makes this 35-0 now. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Here's Moore. He will return it. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto, and so the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to beat everyone.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 57 yards on the ground for him so far.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Second down, and it's Kamara again. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara with career touchdown number 75. And the Saints have taken a 6-touchdown lead. Lutz with the extra point, and it is 42-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. On the return, it's Eskridge, and he'll bring it out. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
The disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
They go play action here on first down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack.
A truly all-around great effort against the pass today. First an interception, now getting to the quarterback for the first time in this contest. I think offensively, they just forgot to prepare for him or simply overlooked him in getting ready for this one. Either way, a big mistake, and he's making them pay for it.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
On second down, it's Walker.
And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
On third down, Huntley. And my goodness, another interception. Marcus May with a pick.
And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. So that changes things. You get the interception, and then to boot, a good return tacked on.
And really it was down to him versus the quarterback on the return, and that's one you would think the defender would win. But a nice job there of seeing the play all the way to the end and making the tackle by the QB.
Yeah, boy, now you see him, now you don't. Excellent move, nice run, winds up getting about 6.
Kamara gets it again on second down.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Saints on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. They're looking at third and a few inches. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
80 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for first and goal.
Ingram is into the end zone for a Saints touchdown. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Lutz good on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
From the end zone, here comes Eskridge. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
Lutz with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just added on to that big lead. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
Here's Moore. He will return it. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the fourth quarter and a big deficit, Charles, but they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Being chased out left. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down. Looking to throw. Huntley, he's going to look deep down the field. And now here's another interception. And the Saints are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. 101 yards rush. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. They run it again with Kamara. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today.
Hit and drop behind the line by Shelby Harris.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. On the counter, here's Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Sticking with Walker on second down.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
He's going to let it fly. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Off play action. Huntley. Catch is made by Metcalf. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Huntley. Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and
my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Justin Evans. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.
So for the Saints, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they'll have another home date next week as the Cincinnati Bengals come to town. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaud. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.